Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Voice of the Movies. I'm Bob, and today we are going to be looking at a score by John Williams, and arguably it is one of the most recognizable uh, film scores of all time. There are certain parts of this um, movie's soundtrack that I guarantee you, whether they know it or not, everybody has heard at some point in their life. We are looking at Raiders of the Lost Ark. The version of this that I'm looking at is the 2016 repressing. It is on 180 gram audiophile records. It is a gatefold. Of course, first let's look at the nice artwork here. Whenever you're looking at LPs, the artwork's always fun. You open it up and it's got note up here from the soundtrack producer, some images from the film, the Ark of the Covenant. On the back, it's got some more images from the film as well as a track listing. And I say arguably one of the most recognizable, because there are other pretty famous theme music that people can instantly recognize, and of course, being that this is the internet, not everything's arguable anymore. Excuse me, sorry, got allergies. But no, I gave this a quick listen to before I did this review, and you forget how long it is before you actually hear the Raiders March, which is the Indy theme, or the one everyone associates with being Indiana's theme, the dun 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 dun. But now when it starts out, it's all got the music from when from being in the jungle. You know, Indiana's going into the cave to get the idol, and of course he's betrayed by Alfred Molina and all that, and of course Belloc takes the idol, and Indy's left with nothing again, and he but I'm not here to review the movie, but it's easy to do because it's a very good movie. But of course, the Indiana Jones theme is very iconic, but this also has a lot of tracks in it I like. I do like the theme that is associated with the Ark itself. If you've seen the movie, this plays when several times. It plays when Indy goes into that map room to get with the staff to get the exact location, because he knows the Nazis are digging in the wrong place. It plays when he goes down into the Well of Souls. It plays when they actually open the Ark at the end. And it's of course, the song that they play when at the very, very end, when they're wheeling the crate there with the Ark in it, there at in that huge warehouse. It's got all the boxes everywhere, and it's going to be lost in all that stuff. But then, of course, another recognizable one, or at least it is it both a John Williams fan and a movie soundtrack fan, is the love theme between him and Marion. But no, this soundtrack, it's if you're a film fan, this is one of the great soundtracks. It has everything you'd expect from an adventure movie. It has the upbeat, get you excited music. It has the music that's supposed to tug at your heartstrings for the romantic scenes, and it has the ominous music for the Ark itself, as well as the bad guys be the Nazis in this case, having their own theme. But this pressing sounds very good. I don't have an original pressing to compare it to. All I've heard of this is, of course, the movie and a CD I used to have. But it all comes across good and clean. the um, the static on there. Of course, you have this from the dust and all that stuff. If you don't get it all cleaned off and the static electricity discharged from the record, you have some of that, but that's not a fault of the record. That's more operator issue that I've sometimes run into when I get in too big of a hurry to play, and sometimes I don't do everything I quite should, but that's my bad. But anyway, now this is one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. And like I say, I'm a big John Williams fan, so it surprises me I made it to the third episode before I actually reviewed one of his. It doesn't matter whether you're talking about the LP. I just happen to be a record guy. Of course, one of the big reasons is the jackets, let alone the cool sound and everything you get from them. But if you're into soundtracks at all, whether it's the LP, the CD, or I hate to say this because I am a physical media guy, but if you get the digital version, this is a soundtrack you should have in your collection. It's got everything you could want. On LP side one, it basically, if you've seen the movie, it's from the beginning to when Indy leaves to go to Cairo. And basically it's a slow build. It's like you say, you start in the jungle and it builds up until Indy eventually escapes and plays the Raiders March, which is his theme that I was humming for you a little bit ago. Then you've got the where he goes and sees Marion and Nepal, and of course you've got all the action set pieces in the movie, and so you've got the corresponding music to go along with that. Side two of the first record is when Marion is kidnapped, and then you have the quote unquote bad dates, where they've poisoned the food, and John Rhys Davies happens to notice it before Indy consumes one. The map room, again, it's got the Ark theme. Reunion, when Indy has strings of portions of the love theme in it while they're reunited. Then of course it kind of gets more into a suspenseful track as he decides to leave her there, so the Nazis don't suspect anything. Side two is just pure adventure fun. The side two, it starts when or record two, I guess, not side two. Record two is pure adventure fun. It starts with Indy's escape from the Well of Souls, and the chase and all the fights and everything on the boat when they're stopped and everything. It's just a fun soundtrack that gets you excited, especially if you're a film fan, and it works outstandingly well. I cannot imagine Raiders of the Lost Ark, the movie, being anywhere near as good if it had any other soundtrack with it. John Williams pulled off a masterstroke, and that's not to take anything away from Spielberg or any of the other creative team behind the movie. It's just that soundtrack. Like I say, a soundtrack can make or break a movie, and it is often the movie's voice, or it's how I consider it, and that's why this series of videos I do every Saturday has that title. But I can't emphasize enough how this adds and accentuates the movie itself. So whether, like I started to say a little bit ago, whether it's the LP, the CD, or I cringe saying it, but the digital version, go out and buy it. It is, if you're a soundtrack fan, it deserves its place in your collection. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content of this video, please like and subscribe so you can keep up to date on all my new releases on my channel. I'm going to try to do a soundtrack every Saturday. That's my goal anyway. And as I have said before, these videos have no script. That's just my honest thoughts as they come to me. I feel like you get a more candid uh, feeling, a more candid review of what's here. And when it's scripted, you can always it seems a little more forced, or you're trying to reach a certain uh, you have a certain message you want to convey. Well, while I do have a certain message I want to convey, I just feel like it's better. The message is that I like this soundtrack, or and I feel like that just giving my thoughts as they come to me, it conveys what I honestly feel a lot better than anything scripted could. And maybe at some point I'll change my mind and try to go for a more scripted approach for these videos, but for now I'm sticking with an ad lib situation. Sometimes, as you've noticed watching this, I stammer over my words, and it takes me minutes sometimes to get my thoughts out, but I get them out, and I hope you enjoyed this review. And please feel free to follow me on Facebook or Twitter at Bob the Film Guy. And like I say, subscribe if you want to see more content from me. And this is Bob signing off. Until next time, thank you.